Hello, 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 and welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am Skip LaCour. So glad you're joining me. Hey, when you come on, say hello, hello, hello. That's our Workouts for Older Men Live greeting. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me if you're watching me on Facebook at Skip LaCour page or on YouTube at Skip LaCour. Make sure you're on all of my social media platforms: TikTok, Skip LaCour; Instagram, Skip LaCour; Twitter, Skip LaCour. And make sure you visit skiplacour.com often, skiplacour.com often. My website has a whole library full of videos and podcasts and articles, training, nutrition, motivation, everything that you need if you're a man who's a little bit older and you've got a busy, productive life and you want to take your body to the next level. Be effective and efficient with your willpower, focus, energy, and time, and end all your confusion, frustration, overwhelm. I know you're getting so much fitness information out there. A lot of it's from the younger guys. I want to give you that certainty, that clarity, so you can put your effort and know it's going to pay off. Hey, in this short video, I want to talk about overtraining. Is overtraining making you look less than your very best? So in this video, I want to talk about if overtraining is making you look less than your best. Hey, again, when you come on, say hello, 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 post any questions that you have. If I don't get to them during this live video, I will use your great question for the next workouts for Older Men Live, and look for these in the morning and the night. Hello, Kenny. Great to have you here. Hello, hello, hello. I think you were here for the morning show too, weren't you, Kenny? All right, so let's talk about overtraining. What is overtraining? I know there's a lot of men that are kind of get into this maybe a year or so, and you hear all these terms on the internet. Overtraining means you're training too much. Too many sets, too many reps, too many exercises, training too frequently, again, too much volume in over time, and overtraining. What will that cause? A lot of times you're strong enough, right? You're determined enough. I mean, you got plenty of energy. You want this badly. I know you want to build that muscle and lose that body fat. So a lot of men think that overtraining, you hear the young guys talk about that on the internet. Overtraining, you can't be overtraining. And they look at their bodies and say, well, yeah, I'm working hard. I'm even watching my diet. Is it overtraining that's causing me to look this way? All right. Now, first of all, I just want to tell this over and over again, right? When it comes to training, if you're not lean enough, even if you look way better than most men your age, right? Right. And I know a lot of men here, it doesn't take long, 6 months. It doesn't matter how bad of shape you're in. If you work on this for 6 months, you watch your diet, you're going to look better than most men in your 50s and your 60s or whatever it is. All right. But you want to get to that higher level. So even when you're lean enough, and you might say, I got 15, 20 pounds, whatever you may think it is. And you're not going to see all those muscle gains from all your work, whether you're overtraining or not. You're not going to see them even with as little as, 15, 20 pounds of extra body fat that you got to lose. So keep that in mind. If you are work on your diet, you have a little bit of extra body fat, it's not overtraining that's making you look the way that you want. It's too much body fat. So if your shoulders, you want them to pop out more, you want them to be bigger, your chest a little droopy. As it gets, sometimes we're a little bit older, your stomach isn't flat, maybe you want to see abs. All right, you have the love handles or that meat on the back, that is not because of overtraining. Now, I understand with so many different training routines, you hear so many things, you want to get it right. The question I constantly get asked is, what's the right amount of sets and reps and exercise? What's the right amount? What's the perfect amount for you? All right. Do a whole video explaining it, right? And someone will, I guess they watch the whole video. That I can't answer that. It's about your intensity level, right? But I train hard. There's always a higher level. And if you've been training for a year, all right, 5 years, whatever it is, your intensity as you get smarter, hopefully, you're training a lot harder and smarter, getting more out of your workouts every set than when you first started. Hopefully. All right. So, you at 1 year of training, just learning, versus you at 2 years or 5 years, give the same exact training routine. Hopefully you'll get way more productivity now with what you've learned about training, right? Your mind got stronger as your body got stronger. So, if I gave the same training routine to everybody, right, you're going to get different results based on intensity, right? So you can give someone a lot of sets. It might be too much, not necessary for some men, but hey, their intensity, how they're attacking, how they're pushing themselves, even though they think they're really going all out, they may need more volume. So someone, I guess they'll watch the whole video and then they'll say, well, you didn't give me an answer, right? And so, like, I went into great detail. I get asked this question a lot. I know that you want a black and white answer. So I'll put in the comment section after doing all that video, 4 cameras, splicing, explain it so many different ways. I'll say, okay, 5, right? And then, what do you mean 5? Well, I heard it was 4, whatever, right? So, but here's the point. If you do more volume and you like to train in the gym, right, you're not going backwards. You're not going backwards. You're just taking more time, more sets, all right, to get your productivity. More didn't make you more productive. But here's the thing is you don't need to worry so much about overtraining, all right, because that's not putting you backwards. Again, if you're as little as 15, 20 pounds overweight, it's not overtraining. So if you think you got to get that right amount of sets, reps, and volumes, you hear so many things exactly right, and maybe that's the way you look in the mirror. It's not it. We kind of average it all out. All right. What you do want to learn, you want to stick out with me, come to me for one-on-one coaching. I've got a plan for you. Put my number and my information down. What you want to do, especially if you're a little bit older, you have a busy, productive life, what you want to do is be really efficient with what you do so you can get more done in less time, right? More isn't better, all right? But you got to know what you're doing. And I know a lot of guys believe that they train hard, but, I just helped a lot of men. A lot of things just weren't explained to you. Even if you've been training for 15 years, if it wasn't explained to you 15 years ago, probably kind of doing the same thing for 15 years. If you're happy with the results, then great. But if you want that higher level, reach out to me. We can talk about it, right? One distinction, one strategy, one new way of looking at the same old challenge. Instead of just accepting it because it's your age or you think it's your genetics, maybe that one thing can take you to the next level. So overtraining, even if you are just being inefficient with your time and sets and reps, and if you like the gym, that doesn't matter, but that is not pushing you backwards. So you don't need to worry about that. One thing though, if you talk to a lot of older men who've been training 15, 20 years, right? They talk about all their aches and pains in their shoulders and their knees and their hips and their replaced and everything. And they're telling you that you need to train high volume. Now, look, there's nothing new. If you're 55 years old and your shoulders hurt, you can't sleep at night, I know you don't want to hear it. You didn't have to do all those sets and reps. It didn't make you any bigger. All right. It just wore out all the joints. You can only have so much movement in the joints. Nobody wants to hear that. All right. And I would totally understand if you had cognitive dissonance and say, hey, well, it worked for me. And that's what everybody does. And I was big and muscular, and that's what Arnold said, or whatever they have to say. And my shoulders falling off or needing to replace has nothing to do with all that volume that I did. That I get it. That's fine. You can't go back. But if you're new to working out, you want to do more in less time. You don't have 15 years to tear up your shoulders or knees or hips like these guys do, but more volume. Regardless of what you hear or say, that isn't what's going to get the job done. All right. All right. So you want to be efficient at what you do. So that's a little bit about overtraining, and I hope that adds some certainty and clarity moving forward. Eric, what testosterone level should a 50-year-old be running at? I don't know that. You hear so many things. I tell you, the internet has just gone wild. A lot of guys who subscribe to steroids in the past, even if they're not, I tell you, when you take steroids in the past and you're a big fitness influencer, you have to take TRT when you're older, because all of that artificial means it diminish your capacity to naturally produce testosterone for the rest of your life. So you got a lot of influencers who've been working out a long time, great bodies, who are just legitimizing, minimizing that TRT is nothing, right? You need to ask, what is the downside? There is nothing in life that has only upside and no downside. All right. Okay. So when you get the thing is, if you know how to eat and train, I mean, there is a way to do this without testosterone. Maybe you won't have as much as those guys. I mean, I really believe that it's the way, not so much about muscle and body fat, even though that probably helps out. I really think that the aggression and the moods of more testosterone is really the benefit more than the aesthetic benefits. So that sense of well-being that some men need. I would suggest you learn how to manage your mind, your diet, and training, the way you look, the way you see yourself. You can always have more muscle. You can always have less body fat, but do that without TRT. Tell you, once that gets in your mind that you have a low TRT or it's on the bottom level, even if the doctor doesn't want to sell you something, put you on a prescription subscription plan of TRT for the rest of your life, you may not want to have that in your mind. So, at least at this point in my life, I'm just making the best with what I have mentally, physically, emotionally, and yeah. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm certainly not the guy to talk to about that, at least not yet. All right. Patrick, hello, hello, hello. Skip. In the middle of my workout, received a message that you were live, still having a problem losing that lower belly fat. I'm watching my caloric intake. Watching it, but what is it? What is your caloric intake? I don't know if it's low, if it's high, it's the right amount, how consistent. Maybe it's about time. One thing is like expectations. We want the best, we want it, but why is that going to just because you want it badly and you think you're doing the work? Is that how the body works? Right? Expectations are really important, right? Good job, Eric. Thank you. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So that's going to do it. I'm going to come to you a couple times a day, some quick messages, visit with you again. Post your questions down below. It's great visiting with you. All right, so that's going to do it. Again, reach out to me for one-on-one coaching. I have a plan for you. I have a plan for you. All that information will be down where you can text me directly. We can talk about it and see if it's a good fit for you. All right, so that's going to do it for Workouts for Older Men Live. Let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.